You know what I love? Bootleg video games. Because they're often made by people who know nothing about the source material of the thing they're actually bootlegging. And as a result, you get crazy shit like this. Can you actually tell what's going on here? I know I can't. You know, bootleg games are fine and all, but honestly sometimes I feel like bootleg consoles are way funnier. Take for example the Z-Dog. Yeah, that's a bootleg games console. I know what you're saying though. A dog? I want to murder shit. Introducing the Power Joy. With firepower like that, you're gonna need a firearms license. And look at that trigger. With a Famicom cartridge slot and a battery compartment that takes 4 fucking AAA batteries, baby. Oh, and a place to plug in a second controller. Mine didn't come with one, so let's just ignore that. Man, and who could complain about the cartridge packed in? Oh, look at the back of that. Let's get some light on that so we can actually fucking read it. Since this is a sophisticated apparatus, should avoid to operate or to store under extreme temperature. Also avoid violent bumps is necessary. Moreover, never disassemble it. The reasons causing defaults are touching the end field by hands, or cleaning by wet materials. Beautiful. Oh, and to show you how cheap this piece of shit is, boom, without any effort. When you power on the console without a cartridge inserted, you'll be greeted by a game select screen, touting 9,999 in one. You could probably tell just based on the limits of physical reality that this is bullshit. There's only 6 games built into this console, and they are repeated over 1,000 fucking times until it adds up to 9,999. You may notice some of the games may have weird words or weird strings of characters at the front or end of their titles. The placement of these seems to be completely random as far as I can tell. This seems to be some kind of odd trick to make the buyer think there's actually 9,999 games. The light gun games included, here I'm showing Duck Hunt, seem to work perfectly fine on a CRT TV. Unfortunately, I was not recording these on a CRT TV, so I wasn't able to play them. In most of my footage, you may also notice some intense graphical corruptions. For some reason, my console seems to be completely fucked up, and after playing it for more than, let's say, 2 minutes, this graphical corruption will entirely fill the fucking screen. Magic Jewelry, called just Jewelry here, is a bootleg game commonly included on multi-carts. The craziest thing about this game is that it's actually pretty good. It's a decent column-style puzzle game. The weirdest thing about this game, though, has to be the first level music, which is actually an 8-bit rendition of a song called All Kinds of Everything from 1970. I won't play it here because I don't want to get fucked by YouTube's copyright robots, but I'll include a link to the song in the video description. Also included on this console is a very subtle hack of an obscure NES game called Swoon. There doesn't seem to be any gameplay difference in this hack. The only difference seems to be the addition of some Kyle dude's name on the title screen. I suspect this ROM was downloaded from the internet or something and just smashed in here. Next up is a game called Super Dynamics Badminton, and boy is that graphical corruption beginning to be a problem. I've never really heard of many badminton games being released to console, but if this is one of the good ones, you've got it here. So that's every game included on the console. We'll cover the cartridge some other time. But what exactly is the Power Joy? Why does the manual tell me to email David? Who even is David? While I can't tell you who David is, sadly, I can tell you that from all my research, this console seems to have been manufactured starting in 2001 by a company called Trump Grand. What an odd name for a company. More confusion can be found in the actual layout of this thing. I mean, it's obviously trying to rip off an N64 controller, but not very effectively. The console features an extremely mushy analog stick, in air quotes, because it's really just a D-pad on stilts. It also has a traditional D-pad that is somehow worse than the fake analog stick. It's even mushier somehow. To the right we have a reset button and power switch. Farther right we have start and select buttons where the A and B buttons would be on an N64 controller. That's not confusing at all. In addition, the C buttons are made into normal face button. As you've already seen, there's a trigger on the back, which only works for light gun games, and a Famicom cartridge port. There was also a variant of this console released with a different multi-cart packed in. Mine had the PJ-001 cartridge, which has 64 games built in, but the variant PJ-008 has 84. I really feel like I've been scammed. Man, I hope I never have to touch this piece of shit again. But thank you for watching. I don't normally make videos like this, but I've always wanted to. And I know I'm not great at it yet, but we'll get there. If you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to like or subscribe, and I will see you at a future date, hopefully.